Well, I'm actually sitting waiting for Mike right now. We just got a new shipment of guitars in, so it's kind of like Christmas around here right now for the guys. But you know, we're back with the original lineup. Me, Mike, Gary Went, and Paul. Kind of a real special time, you know. We're kind of revisiting back to our roots and where we started, and we did a low-key show out in Los Angeles to kind of get things on the ground to see if it was something that we're going to be able to do. And it was really cool. You know, we got together for about a month and rehearsed, you know, I think like 8 times the whole debut, our first album. And it was cool. Fucking pulled it off and kind of made our decision to go ahead and carry things forward. So right now we're in the process of, you know, of course it's the holidays, but we all have ideas and songs, and of course I've got a bunch of songs I've been working on for the last 5 years, me and myself. But having Mike and Gary and Paul in the band, we're kind of just it's almost I'm kind of letting them kind of revisit the whole writing thing, because I'm hoping to get the whole spirit of, you know, the original Skinlab back, which I think is going to happen here real soon. So kind of real cool time. We're pretty excited.
Oh, I'd love to see a 20th anniversary tour of Bound, Gagged, and Blindfolded.
Well, I mean, yeah. Unfortunately, we passed up the 20-year mark. Actually, it's this year. We did a 20-year anniversary tour with 36 Crazy Fist.
Okay.
In the States last year, and it was kind of a unofficial 20-year anniversary tour. We went out with some new members, some guest guitar players that were able to come out and help us. But yeah, you know, yeah, there's some people asking for it, and we've got a couple tours lined up for 2017, and where we're going to perform. Well, right now we're going to perform Bound, Gagged, which is our first album. Obviously, we're going to perform that at a few shows. Right now, we don't know how many, but there's a few shows that we've booked that we're going to play, and who knows how far that'll go. Obviously, people aren't going to want to hear that, you know, for the next 2 years or anything, but, you know, so they're going to have to learn our back catalog, which we have quite a bit of, you know. But yeah, man, we're just stoked. And really, it's just one day at a time right now, man. We're just our 4 brothers are back together, and, you know, that means the world to me. Took me a long time to kind of rebuild these relationships. And it's pretty badass.
That's
like I said, I'm waiting for Mike to get here right now.
Justify what you've been through.
Yeah, we were talking about that show the other day, actually. No, that was a fucking badass show. And that was our first United States tour. But Gary wasn't in the band. He didn't make it on the United States tour. His last dates were in Europe. So it's kind of cool that he's back in the band, so he can kind of tour the States and everything. We're all old and more mature, and it's just eyes are wide open, man. And to get the chance to be able to do it again, we're all still alive, you know. So we're stoked, you know. Yeah, we'll be back. We'll definitely be coming to East Coast. Like, East Coast is one of our main. And it's a goal right now, just because, I mean, we haven't been on the East Coast, and last time we was the only time I've ever been sick in my life in the band, and my lungs basically collapsed. So we had to cancel the tour, and yeah. So we'll be back. We love the East Coast. Awesome. Oh, that was a long time ago. That was you know, 8 years ago, and was just a freaky experience. You know, obviously we all burn weed and everything like that, but it had nothing to do with that. It was just a creepy thing. I think one guy came on the tour sick. Actually, a guy's girlfriend came on the tour sick, and it got me bad, man. And it got me so bad where, like, my lungs basically were really close to collapse, and we were over where they have the Hall of Fame of baseball. I forget what that's called. Out there in New York.
Cooperstown.
Cooperstown. Yeah, we were in Cooperstown, and I was there eating a Cooperstown burger, and I couldn't fucking breathe. It was insane. And luckily there was a hospital next door. So I went in, and they were basically like, I got to get to a show in 2 hours. They're like, you're not going to make it, you know. And that was kind of it. So yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back, and hopefully in great health, all of us. Well, that's funny you say that, because you know, nowadays, I mean, everything's based around how many likes you have and how many tweets you have, and you know, it's kind of crazy, but we're not against that, but it's like we really haven't embraced it that much. Skinlab we actually we went on our hiatus right around when Facebook and MySpace ended, Facebook began, and Twitter kind of came while we were on hiatus. So we've got a pretty late jump on all that stuff, and I gotta admit it's pretty hard to embrace and catch up. You know, I mean, seeing everything that's going on nowadays, it's awesome, but it's obviously a media that's going to stick around. So we better jump on it, and we're about to. But man, the outlets and the media outlets and the general perception of the industry, from my point of view at least, is, you know, it seems, you know, pretty interesting as far as streaming goes. I'm down for streaming. I dig it, and I totally love to, you know, listen to new bands that way. That's how I discover my bands. And again, eventually you go buy it or whatever, but if you like it. But yeah, man, you got to play the game no matter how it changes. And like I said earlier, it's like we're jumping into something new, you know, versus what we learned to adapt to earlier on in our career. So it's cool. Just eyes are wide open, and we'll see what, you know, what's ahead, and we'll take it, you know, as we get it. Yeah, well, you know, we obviously not really ready to make any announcements yet, but we lost our singer. We parted ways with Brian, and we're making a couple of new adjustments to the band, but we'll definitely be doing some stuff this year for sure. Love the band. It's a great extension of my personality, and the guys that I'm working with, the musicians that I'm working with, are badass, and they're definitely musicians on the rise and deserve their shot. So it's pretty cool. We jumped in pretty deep, man. We went on tour. We hit it pretty hard, you know, from a garage band in my garage to literally hitting the road, and as I call busting spokes, you know, we lost members along the way as you spin the wheels, and you know, so we've been this stable lineup now for almost 2.5 years. So it's pretty cool. We're writing new music and pretty excited. I wish I could say more, but really soon.
Watching.
Actually, I started off as a drummer. Yeah, I started off as a drummer, and my cousin, I started playing with him, trying to start a band, and he kind of informed me real quick, but I sucked. And we were trying to do Iron Maiden and stuff like that. And then Death Angel came around, and he was friends with them and kind of introduced me to Andy Gillian, and pretty much showed me that I was horrible. So I gave up, and I started singing. First
said I gave up,
and I didn't start playing bass or guitar until started noodling around on a guy named Al Voltage, his guitar. He was the guitar player for Laughing Dead, who's passed away, but one of my huge influences, and he was such a great guitar player, and always really cool to let me play his guitar. So you know, after I left Defiance, I wanted to do something really heavy, you know, with distortion on the bass. Danny Lilker from SOD was my hero, and I just loved that distorted bass. And you know, it's just a big jump from from Defiance to Skinlab bass-wise, because I went from just a clean thumping tone to a really expressive, distorted, brutal tone, and it kind of carved an itch for Skinlab, and it also in the beginning would hide a lot of my mistakes and some of the blemishes that you get from somebody going from a singer to a bass player singer. So,
oh yeah.
I've since then learned how to control it, though, because the guys over the years have been like, dude, you know, so I've gone through every freaking bass pedal you can imagine, every rack mount thing and everything. And basically, it's so funny because one of my favorite bass players is Blasco from
Rob Zombie.
So, you know, but he was in a band called Drown, which is one of my favorite bands, and he played bass, and he had distortion, and I fucking loved his distortion. And I was like, dude, what are you fucking playing after all these years? He's like, oh, a DS1. So after spending thousands of dollars, it was like the first distortion box ever invented, probably. I don't know.
No shit. A fucking DS1.
The orange DS1 is the shit. Sorry, Blasco. I fucking let your recipe loose, but oh god, the biggest tour we've done, I think, still to this day, was the Machine Head More Things Change tour. It's fucking amazing. We had no idea what to expect. You know, we had just signed our deal, and you know, obviously, Rod Flynn was a huge part of us getting signed. So when when we went out there, well, actually, let me back up a little bit, because we went out to mix our album in England before we had started the tour, and they were doing promo on the tour and the Machine Head record while we were mixing our album. And when we got to England, there were literally like life-size, probably bigger than life-size. I mean, just a huge wall of like Rob Flynn's head, Logan and Adam and Dave. You know, it was just insane. We were walking around, holy shit, looking at these things like this. Those guys are going to be big, you know. I mean, they're getting a big push. And come to find out, yeah, but I think they were like fucking Nirvana of, you know, England and Europe, and still are, of course. But that was just a huge tour. Us, Cold Chamber, and Napalm Death.
Fuck yeah.
Napalm Death. Nice.
We got to tour with Slayer in the States, and we did 5 shows, I think, with them. And that was fucking amazing. We did some outdoor kind of amphitheater things, opening up for Hatebreed and Arch Enemy.
Oh fuck.
So that was probably the biggest States thing we did. That was amazing. That was awesome. Slayers, we actually got treated very well by their crowd. Yeah, don't drink 2 bottles of Jägermeister a night and 2 cases of beer, because you come home totally fucking fat and it's horrible. I came home 28 pounds heavier, and tour stories, some I could tell, some I can't, but my wife looked at me and was like, oh my God, what happened to you? And I was like, oh shit, time to quit drinking. But from that tour, I mean, just, you know,
or like any like crazy experience that sticks out in your head. I'm just curious.
Oh, we've had so many crazy experiences. I would say one that just wasn't on stage was, we were traveling, and Anthrax, their SOD, their bus had broke down, and Billy was our manager for a while. And so we were like, hey guys, let's jump in with us. We'll help you guys, you know, go. And we're all in our RV, all packed, and we had Anthrax in there just picking their brains and just talking about this, the raddest shit in every record, and finding out all this cool stuff about them. And Billy was driving a U-Haul trailer with their truck, or with their trailer on the back, and we're all just sitting there, you know, like little kids on a camp, you know, on a little adventure, and fucking all of a sudden we see this trailer start fucking bouncing and weaving back and forth in front of us, and we're like, holy shit, look at that. And then fucking started bouncing like, you know, 4 feet back and forth, and next thing you know, it just flew off and came right at us. And right before it fucking came at us, the thing veered off to the right into the medium and fucking flipped over, did 4 fucking flips, and all of us, we thought we were fucking dead, you know, obviously, with this trailer coming slamming at you. And Billy Milano gets out of the fucking van like, did you fucking see that? Holy fucking shit. You know, we were like, did you see that? Of course we saw it. We thought we were dead. Oh my God.
Is that all of their equipment in the trailer?
Yeah, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, crazy. But the trailer was fine. It actually, I don't think it did a flip, but it did a whip around and like whips. But yeah, everything was good. It was insane. But you know, obviously being with Anthrax and sharing this one damn thing, you know, with them, I'm sure never forget that. Well, I mostly write songs about situations and sometimes other people's situations that inspire me. I've never really had a problem with drugs or anything like that, or drinking. All my problems are in my head, just anxiety and shit like that. And even since, when we started the first couple tours, of course we were partying, and I got introduced to pills and stuff like that, but it's stuff that I never really even started doing, getting hooked. And of course we never even knew that it was going to be anything that was going to, kill so many people and be such an addictive thing. But all that stuff's in the past. And that's what's cool about Skinlab now is we're all fucking pretty much sober. We smoke weed, and that's pretty much what we do. But we're all artists at heart, and but what was the first part of the question?
Oh, I was saying, basically I was asking if you used in the past and those lyrics came from that, because I was saying I used, and coming out in recovery, those songs were a lot of the music I was listening to at the time, a lot of Skinlab. And
cool. Well, they're just, because my dad was a huge alcoholic, and those particular times, that take is needed only for pain. That's what I'm saying. That was about it was almost called, I almost called the song a requiem for a pill popper's nation, because it was about Hollywood and about how I really started to see, holy shit, this isn't just, okay, my back hurts, people are really starting to fade out from this shit. And that's when it was weird, because I knew that if I got sucked into the Hollywood thing, because we were always rolling through there, always at the beginning of our career, we were down there all the time. We were in the mix of everything. We were at the whiskey, at the freaking Rainbow, and it's so easy to get involved in that party, and during Revolting Room, which is 3 albums into our career, I started seeing well, Steve, you better not get involved in this, and it was actually in Hollywood where I kind of confessed to my wife, a lot of the bullshit that I was doing. So it was a lot of stuff that I seen from the outside that helped me change myself, and a few of the fucking stupid things that I did, that I seen hurting other people, and so that and Accelerate, and because Accelerate was just about the adrenaline of the rush of life, and just and pushing the limits to everything without drugs. So
I kind of took it, almost seemed like a story or something. That's how I kind of interpreted it as. No shit.
No. So because we originally, the song was originally abbreviated XLR8, right? But then we're just that might just be a little too kooky. People just be whatever. But it was mostly about just it's the riff, it's a slam and riff and really intense. It's whoa, fuck, it's pushing something, it's pushing the gears of excitement and crossing the threshold of the energy of your blood pumping, and flowing. So that's what that was about. If we could have did a video with monster trucks and fucking motorcycles and skateboarding, that would have been the background music to something like that. Yeah. So that's where that was from. Being a Thrasher kid, wearing Vans, that's where that shit comes from. Basically, if it's a guitar that you're into and it's a relationship you have with the company, then you obviously just order what works for you. I've gone through many different basses and different times of Skinlab that call for different tones, and Right now, that bass that I got is a 5-string, which over the years we were able to make. I'm jumping off about what you're asking, but over the years we were able to make 4 strings work for our low tuning, but a 5-string just makes it work so much better, especially for recording and everything. So that's why I've got this 5-string and many more with those. But you know, it's just about I wouldn't say so much the value of your band. I think the Chris posted something the other day about people asking about, you know, getting endorsed and everything, and it has to do with, you know, record sales, past and present, the influence you have over, you know, maybe some of the people who might see you and want to play. Some people have that influence. Unfortunately, some people
I
don't.
swear to fuck, I bought an ESP because I saw you guys playing it.
Right. Well, I think that's
oh, go ahead.
And that's what I'm saying, brother. You know, I mean, we love you for that, and that's what we tried to do. That's what we still try to do. And I think they see Skinlab for being worth at least that much. You know what I mean? So that's why we're endorsed personally. It's funny because I posted, people were like, man, isn't that the 12th one? Like, no, it's probably my 16th. But, you know, not that we've sold a shitload of records, but, you know, we've made a lot more friends that we've sold records. And sometimes that carries a little further. Oh, well, there was actually, I forget the name of the guy because it's been so long, but it was from this pedophile fucking case that was here in the States. And the guy, he asked the girl to come sit on his Skinlab, and I was like, ooh, babe, that'd be a sick name for a band. And she was like, oh, hell no, you ain't calling your band Skinlab. So I was like, guys, you like semen? And they're like, what? That'd be a killer band name. They're like, oh, no, that's not going to work. So, no, just kidding. So we came up with Skinlab, you know, off of Skinlab, and that was more appropriate. And it's funny because when we first started out, we had Skinlab, and then backwards it almost spells ball skin, like you could make it spell ball skin. No, but in all honesty, we were inspired by a band from Sacramento that was called Cranklab.
Okay.
And they're a super heavy kind of like Pantera thing, and they broke up. So I knew the coast was clear, you know. And
nice.
Yeah, but we were really inspired by this one band. They were called the Flesh Hooks.
Okay.
And we're actually thinking of calling a new song and possibly even an EP, Flesh Hooks, because they were such a huge inspiration on visually, you know, because they used the whole Fakir Massacre visuals and stuff like that. And he was one of the first people to do the variation of the Indian war dance by hanging himself by hooks. And that was like a huge thing on our first record. So